Welcome back to another Trade Outs quick market update. Just want to do a follow-up video from yesterday morning, kind of look at Bitcoin, see what's happened since then, and then we're going to take a quick look at Ethereum. So before I get started, I just wanted to do a quick announcement that Femex has up to $4,600 deposit bonus. Got to throw that in there. And they do have up to 100x leverage. So obviously, if you're going to trade on Femex, please be careful. Please make sure you have good risk management. But anyway, we're going to get into Bitcoin here. Starting off on, or it's actually a 5-minute. Just kind of like, again, Bitcoin's been in a very tight range. I think yesterday's video, we were somewhere in this neighborhood. Bitcoin had come down, had a perfect test of the range low here. Literally just a flawless test of the range low. And then I was looking for specifically two targets to the upside. Second one almost got hit, but really this range equilibrium, that obviously got hit. Found nice resistance there, which again, this is just the 50% mark. It's literally the midpoint between the range low and the range high. So nice respect here. Price pushes off, ends up reclaiming it, and you get a push almost. Close enough is close enough in my opinion, but basically a tap of this daily SR level, which the daily SR levels have been unbelievable in this range lately. They have been very, very, very good levels, and again coming up into this region before backing off and kind of coming into where your current value area low is. Now, what I want to do really quickly before I continue is show you how to update these levels, because every day when I'm trading, especially when you are in a tight range like this, so kind of like zoom in and just show you like here, very tight range, very well-defined range. First thing that you want to do is come in here and get your fixed range tool. Again, find your value area levels, because they very likely shift from day to day. Sometimes, not all the time, but you definitely want to make sure that you're trading with the right levels. So again, kind of the start of my trading day, a little bit late today, but I'm just going to take my fixed range tool, kind of start at the beginning, pull it over and see if there's any updates. And sure enough, so actually your point of control shifted. So you can see where your point of control here is, was here at 30K. It shifted down. So you can see you have a higher volume node down here. So we're going to go ahead and shift this down. So that is the new point of control. Now, does the old point of control, does that mean it's irrelevant? No, like it's obviously still volume wise a very important level. It's something that I obviously wouldn't forget about. But the point of control of this range is it did shift down here to 29,370, somewhere in that region, which is very close to your value area low, by the way. So again, like this last hourly candle, kind of giving you a nice test right off of that point of control, getting a little bit of a bounce there. And then I guess I can keep it a little bit zoomed in. Sorry about that. So your value area low is going to shift down. Value area high is also going to shift down. So those are the new value areas for this range. And again, so like every day, I like to go through there, re-pull my range levels just to make sure that, like I'm using the right levels there. Thing that I like about this, kind of like where these levels are shifting down to, pretty nice confluence. The value area low is pretty close to this. So this is a new daily SR level, by the way, that's untapped. So this one, again, pretty darn close. Really nice resistance up here, which, by the way, now your value area high of the overall range has shifted down basically to where that daily SR level is. So this is a very important level. Going forward, obviously point of control, getting a lot of price action around where this new point of control is. And nice resistance, kind of wash through a little bit here, but then again, finding support. So I would agree with that. Nice level. And then obviously your value area low coming in slightly below that, really close to this untapped daily SR level. So if you're trading this range, all right, like just look at how clean this range is. It's very clean. Same as yesterday, and nothing's changed because we're still trading within the overall range. All right, nothing's changed. If you go a little bit higher time frame, so nothing has changed. Basically, looking for acceptance below this range low. I would be a bit careful about a potential swing failure pattern here. Price basically taking. I want to see this low get taken, and then getting like a quick buyback, acceptance back inside of the range low. Then you probably have a pretty nice trade, probably up to range high at that point. If I see something like that, it's kind of what I would be looking for. Or if you get acceptance below this range low, so basically price coming below this level and hanging out for a while. If that were to happen, then it's the same targets that I've been talking about for a while now. I'll be looking for that low to mid 27K. So basically, you have $1,000 move to the downside, maybe, like $1,000 to $1,500 move to the downside, coming into your next potential support levels. Same thing to the upside. basically, if you're able to get acceptance above your range high, so if price chooses to break to the top side of the range and you don't have a deviation like we had here, so basically, like for me, it'd really be getting above 31,300, something like that. If that was to happen, then again, you have probably another $1,000 to $1,500 move to the upside before you start running into your next resistance level. So either way, breaking this range, you're probably looking for a bit of follow through there. But at the moment, and this is kind of one of those things that frustrates people sometimes, this range could really go on for it really could go on for quite some time. But anyway, until the range breaks, trade the range. If the range breaks, basically we have our targets to the upside and the downside. So we have a pretty good trading plan as far as what we're looking for there, in my opinion. And again, we had a very impulsive move to the downside. Price has spent some time consolidating in this high range, completely normal. You're going to see that. You're going to see that happen, especially when you have very drastic moves either direction, right? The price is going to cool down. You're going to let things reset for a little bit before price either continues trend to the downside or you have, a further, like a correction to the upside, basically. So as far as Bitcoin goes, nothing really new to report there. It's nice to see, again, levels being respected quite nicely. And then I showed you basically how to update your value area levels. I will say that, so like, if you're interested, actually the next video in the range trading series actually has to do with using the fixed range tool. So if you would like me to release that, please like the video and tell me in the comments if you want that video. I will put it out today if there's enough people that tell me that they would like it. Basically, it's the second video in the fixed range. I'm sorry, it's the second video in the range trading series that I have. So that's Bitcoin. Again, nothing new to report. Kind of boring unless you're trading this range. I mean, this is a phenomenal range. This is very nice trading at the moment, but until the range breaks in either direction, expect kind of your excitement to be contained to the range. All right. So that's Bitcoin. Let's move over to ETH. All right. So here is ETH USD on the daily time frame. As you can see, I'm going to focus on a little bit higher time frame, because on lower time frames, it's doing some. It's basically pretty similar to what Bitcoin's doing for the most part. But you can see I have some levels marked to the downside below as basically my next future support areas that I'm looking at to hold. This weekly level has been outstanding. So this weekly level goes back all the way to March of last year. So it's over a year old, and kind of just like walking you through what's happened since then. All right. We had this nice kind of consolidation here. It's a very big one. Obviously, we're still moving to the upside, big pullback, and then price cools down for a little bit before having this first initial, your big impulsive move up to this 4,400 all-time high at the time, pulling back very nastily into where this weekly level, which this weekly level has been huge support. So you can see you got a perfect test here, but price comes down into this region, into this zone, and holds up quite nicely before taking you to new all-time highs. So if you zoom out and kind of look at where has price come back into, this same weekly level, and you got a substantial reaction off of that. So this level is very important. Reason why I have these two weeklies marked below here is because for myself, this is the next real support area that ETH potentially has below this weekly level. So if things get crazy and ETH starts getting acceptance, basically breaking below this weekly level, and you take these lows, right? So like, again, maybe you get some kind of swing failure pattern. I'd argue that you probably, that would be a little less, it's certainly possible, but kind of curious if it did take that. 1701, 1700. So it didn't. I mean, it's very close, literally within $1 of this low here. But anyway, unless you get some kind of quick wick to the downside, and then again you see a strong buyback, acceptance back above this weekly, for example, something like that, and then you probably see a bit of a bigger run to the upside for ETH. I don't think that's as likely, if I'm being honest. This is kind of like a good test here. If this weekly level is broken to the downside and you see clear acceptance below it, for me the next targets are really this 1412 level and this 1313 level to the downside, which, by the way, if you go back, this 1300 level, when it was formed, it did, as it came up, pushed up to basically 2K, dropped to the downside. Where did you find a support? Here. So similar to this fashion, where again you had that big massive move to this all-time highs, at least it was back in May, before it pulled back to where the weekly level. Kind of similar thing happened here, right? Big move up, big pullback right to this weekly level, and this held as support. So for me, this is, as far as kind of like a lower area for ETH, very important level. Now again, whether it happens or not, that's, for me, again, level to level, it has to break this weekly first and get acceptance below. Then it certainly, for myself, opens up the floodgates down to some of these lower levels, and then we'll kind of go from there. So kind of, again, I just wanted to show you like where these weekly levels stem from and why I think that, you know, again, these are levels of interest for myself. One thing that has nice confluence there is if you pull out your yearly pivots. So the first support area, basically your S1 yearly pivot is literally this weekly level. It is literally this weekly level. So that again tells me that as far as pivot points go, this is highlighting to you that this is a very critical level. So I stand by that in terms of if this weekly level is lost, I do think that we test these lower levels. Another thing that you can do, which I have on my other charts, but I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to start clean from here. That would just kind of give you guys, again, kind of build up the, you know, the analysis piece by piece, so that when I, you know, go into like transitioning into lower time frames and stuff, you know where all these levels came from. So one thing that I like to do as well, similar to Bitcoin, is you can actually pull a Fibonacci retracement here, but then I have the extension or the expansion target already there. So the 1.618, I'm just going to turn it into an expansion that we can kind of see. But really, the 1.618 Fibonacci expansion coming in from this previous low up to our current $3,500 high again. So this is a very substantial move. Obviously, we broke the low here, looking for downside, potential levels of support, right, or areas of interest. Where does a 1.618 come in at? Your S1 pivot. So it's very close. So you have a weekly SR level there that has been, this is the one, again, that was tapped already. But it showed, again, like on higher time frames, that this is a very important support area that was respected. So you have this weekly SR level, you have an S1 yearly pivot sitting right here, and you have the 1.618 Fibonacci expansion. So for me, again, this region, if ETH does indeed move lower over time, right? So this is probably going to take a bit of time. If it does, so again, breaking this weekly SR level first, like this has to happen, obviously, right? Genius. But just kind of showing you what I would be looking at if we do get acceptance below this 1686 weekly. For me, this is a huge level. If this level is lost, then, you know, again, we'll save that for a video that has longer, you know, longer planned time around looking at analysis for ETH, because it's going to take a while. And there's probably nothing any bullish people want to hear right now. Let me tell you that. So again, important target. Now, kind of want to zoom in on, so I'm going to delete this expansion because we can put that back. I'm going to delete the pivots because we can put that back later. Just kind of keep things as clean as possible. Kind of going on, I want to focus on like kind of more immediate price action and show you some levels that I think are really important. First of all, it's going to be this low coming back from January. That to me is a key level. So again, low pivot, you got a substantial move off of this level. So, you know, again, coming in, this is where price was defended, got a massive move to the upside off of that before losing it. Now, if you look at what your resistance is, it's literally this key level, right? So this previous low that was support got defended quite nicely. You got a big reaction off of that. Price didn't even come anywhere near the wick low again until price came back, you know, eventually, many months later. And then now you broke this low, and that is your current resistance. So until price reclaims 2159 basically to the upside, like this is what's capping price at the moment. So this is certainly relevant. One thing that you can do as well, which, you know, I love, is Ichimoku. Turn this on and see kind of what's going on there. Well, kind of look at where your daily Tenkan is. It's working. It's over the next week or so. It's certainly getting aggressive to the downside. So this is something that you want to pay a lot of attention to. Kijun is still flat, so we're kind of have to see how this progresses. At the moment, basically what this is saying is like really pressured down. So we're gonna have to see. We'll see what price does as Tenkan works its way down to it. Obviously, if it's able to flip it into support, something like that, basically get a move up through it, then you could look for potentially a larger move, right? Level to level. But at the end of the day, this is just really telling, again, this is going to start getting really aggressive to the downside. So this could have an impact on kind of like how this range is playing out at the moment. So not a whole lot at the moment to talk about other than that. We'll go ahead and turn this off. But again, you kind of eyeball where your equilibrium is sitting at. And for ETH, it's really this daily keygen here at 26, basically 26.40. So we'll see if this is probably going to start moving to the downside again. That's my guess. It's probably going to start moving to the downside eventually. But for the time being, if we got a rally all the way up to 2600, that really wouldn't change anything for ETH, in my opinion. Obviously, it would be a nice move, but I don't think that's as likely at the moment. But again, the first gatekeeper, first very important level of resistance is just this key level at 2159. Go from there. And then to the downside, this weekly SR level, which has been your support, right? So you have your resistance that got to pay attention to. Obviously, there's resistances above. Next one really is like 2338. So again, and I'm looking at it from today. Obviously, your Tenkin is moving lower, but really kind of the next level for me would be like 2300 to 2350, something like that would be kind of a next area of interest. But again, we kind of have like this area that we're sandwiched in between for the time being. So we'll look for a break of either of those before kind of like moving on with the analysis. So see if there's anything else of interest. I'm probably going to keep it there. Again, I'll try to keep this video a little bit on the shorter side, but I just kind of wanted to highlight some important things. So again, for ETH, break above this key level. I think you potentially have a move up to like 2300, 2350, something like that's possible. Break, and obviously, if this weekly SR level holds, you have the support levels to the downside that at least I'm paying attention to, and yeah, I think things will get pretty wild if we break this low. And obviously, alts are probably going to not fare very well, which alts haven't been doing. Altcoins have not been faring very well at all, and that's probably going to be the next video that I do. Is going to be specifically focused on altcoins. Yesterday we had a VIP live stream. I was like almost 2 hours long, and it was more of like a relaxed stream. I was basically taking requests, and we were going through chart by chart by chart, and we did a lot of altcoins, and there were some interesting things going on. So maybe we'll do a video on some altcoins. So anyway, I do have a bot video or a bot update coming out. I'm going to be working on it possibly today. So there will be a bot video coming very soon, kind of update you on what I'm doing with my bots, how they're doing, and kind of like just the market in general. So hopefully that's helpful. If you like this content, of course, and it immensely helps my channel, if you could just leave a like and a comment, I would greatly appreciate that. Helps push my content out to more people and encourage me to continue to do this. But anyway, with that being said, stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.